anniversary of the Power Rangers license in America, Bandai's pulling out all the stops with some celebration and merriment from their flagship cash cow these past 2 decades. And part of that are these awesome armored figures currently in the Mega Force line. They're like 7 inches tall and have all kinds of accessories and whatnot, and they decided to pick and choose a few old school figures to go in there. The obvious green and white, and then also red, because how are you not going to have a Red Ranger in any kind of commemorative figure, much less one celebrating the first and original Power Ranger show in the United States. So we're going to take a look at the armored red, white, and green Ranger figures. I think the Green Ranger is the newest one. It's out now under the Super Mega Force banner. The white and red, I believe, came out mid to late last year. So red might be kind of tricky to find, but they're definitely worth your time, energy, and most importantly, your monies. So check these out.
Alright, first up, let's take a look at the Green and Red Rangers together. They share basically the same body style. All 3 of these share basically the same body style. But the Red Ranger came out first, and he came with basically all the stuff that the Green Ranger, the newest one, does. But the Green Ranger comes with no extras. So Red Ranger's got his power sword, which has got some really nice detailing on it, actually. It's got all the stuff carved into it, which is kind of nice. I mean, it's really, really good. He also came with the Dragon Dagger, which is the same one that Tommy's got, and all of the armor pieces as well. So this is basically the same armor kit that the Green Ranger has. It's got the straps on it, which the original one back in the day did not have, which is pretty cool. And also the cuffs around the arms as well, which I have here on the other side of the room here. And they're hard plastic, and they're sculpted specifically to only go on one way around the muscles on the figure, which is something you cannot possibly not mention. The muscles on these things are insane. These are certainly very stylized versions of these characters. I mean, these are the swollest Power Rangers to ever exist. But it doesn't mean that they're bad. They're very, very cool. I mean, hell, I like them quite a lot. Before we get into the bodies themselves, each one comes with, they all come with different hands. There's a closed hand and an open hand for each one. So you got pegs in there to hold the guns if they want to do that, because he also comes with the blaster. The blaster actually is a little bit lacking in the paint department. It's nice, but I think it's a little bit too big. I think it's too big, and it's not painted very well. But he does come with it, and it doesn't fold up. It doesn't have the holster, but it goes on here. But in general, the sculpts themselves, lots of really, really, really nice details. The buckles themselves, where the power coins are and the morphers, they are unique. So they that one has the dragon footprint, one has the Tyrannosaurus. I mean, they're very, very nice figures. The articulation is pretty rad. The details are cool. They do some weird stuff though, like this bit here, the knee. You kind of have the detail here, but then when the knee bends, you end up with this sort of jutting out thing, and you kind of have the same thing happen up on the thigh. This thigh muscle is sculpted in, but it spins around the leg, which is kind of strange. Never seen anything quite like that as far as articulation goes. It's a detail in sculpt and articulation. It's an odd marriage of things, but it is really nice. The helmet details are wonderful. The articulation is pretty damn good when you kind of compare it to any other Power Ranger toys. And honestly, most action figures in general on display now, they're really, really nice. This is smooth, man. He's got lots and lots of motion there. It holds poses very well. The only thing that I will say about as far as any kind of stability goes on any of these is that the weapons are made of very, very soft plastic. So after just having these guys on display, after a little while, just standing there holding the sword out, the sword will start to droop, just because it's a very soft, very, very soft plastic. You can even see it's not completely flat even now. And I've kind of tried to make sure it had time to get loose or what have you. But it's not great, but it's hardly a deal breaker. These guys they go for about $20 if you can find them. They're not super easy to find, unfortunately. I ended up getting I found him at the store. I found the Green and White Rangers on Amazon. So we'll take a look at the White Ranger next. Interesting to note is that the Green Ranger has the same basic body type as the Red Ranger here. So he has the diamonds on the chest, whatever. The White Ranger has that too, but that's in no way accurate at all. Like, I don't necessarily know what the Keeper Ranger's uniform looked like under there, but I know it didn't look like that because these uniforms are from an entirely different show than the footage of the White Ranger from Japan. So there's no way that that makes any kind of sense. That said, it is still really, really nice. He comes with, of the three, the White Ranger has absolutely the most parts and pieces. He has the armor, obviously. Then he has these two bits around his arms and these clip-on bits around his legs and the bands around his arms. These, however, are not the same style as came with the Green and White Rangers. Red, I should say. Instead of these hard, very clearly defined, very specifically sculpted pieces, these are more like, I don't want to say rubber bands, but they're definitely a lot looser. They're a little bit more forgiving. You kind of just slide them up and down as you want. Yeah, not bad at all. You can see that on all these figures, the crack you kind of show on the back, there are lots of great big screw holes on here. Like so they're not fooling anybody on the back. It's kind of sloppy design. They did the same thing on the Thundercats, the big Lion-O and Mum-Ra from last year. The Bandai did. So lots of big gaping screw holes, which is not great, but again, hardly a deal breaker. The White Ranger is fantastic. Again, it's the same body style, but it just looks really well. And oddly enough, the big bulky bodies look better with the figures when they have the armor on. But you can see that they did use some really, really nice gold hues on him. It's not just like a brown or like a whatever. There's a really nice metallic finish in all of the pieces. The armor and then also the helmet itself has really, really nice gold finish on it. It shines really well in the light. It's very, very cool. Just to give you an idea real quick of what these guys look like, kind of what they compare to. We got the old school figures here we'll show. So we got classic White Ranger and the classic Green Ranger and the classic Red Ranger. That's what 20 years later, and apparently a lot of gym time. These guys have been working out a whole lot the past 20 years. That makes a little bit of sense. They got about a head on them each, give or take. And something not quite Power Ranger-y, but if you're just curious as to how big they are, here's one of the Iron Man Legends figures that came out last year. Kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. And so they're a little bit larger than like a Marvel Legends style action figure. They're not huge. I think they're 6.5, 7 inches, something like that. I haven't bothered to measure it, but bottom line, the very, very cool toys. Are they as nice as say the figure arts? No, they're not that nice. But they're also nowhere near as expensive. At the end of the day, these are really, really cool collector-minded figures, and if you can find them for anywhere near 20, 25 bucks, I think you should absolutely get them. They're very, very fun. They're neat. They're well made, well sculpted. Screw holes, but what are you going to do? I think they belong on any Power Ranger fan's shelf. Good stuff.
So there you have it. Very deserving of a spot on your shelf miner right over there. And you should definitely get these guys if you're anywhere remotely interested in them. They may be kind of tricky to find, and they may end up being a little more expensive. I think I paid about $10 more than retail just for the Green Ranger right now. So he may be even more expensive as they come out, because I don't know, they're not in abundant supply is the thing. So if you want them, it may be worth it to suck it up and pay the extra couple bucks to get it online. As much as I hate to pay more than asking price for anything, as far as something that's out on the shelves now. But maybe you'll be lucky. Maybe you'll find him at Toys R Us or Walmart or something, and you'll be like, "Hey, got you," and I'll be like, "Damn," and all that stuff. But you won't do that because we're friendly. So check these guys out. Pick them up if you like them. They're awesome. Go to PanelsOnPages.com and check out bukus, I'm going to say, of other nerdy content available every single day. Listen to the Popcast Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at chat.panelsonpage.com. And come back. We're going to look next time at some Ninja Turtles figures. Woohoo! Turtles!